Hi, Mara here again, this time reflecting on my self-evaluation, my self-assessment activity, and how I chose my growth goals for the High Reliability Teaching Program, Level 1. During my self-assessment, I noted areas of perceived strength and weakness in my practice as an educator. I feel that I am strongest overall in the category of context, placing a lot of value on my classroom environment, the creation of motivating and meaningful learning experiences for my students based on their individual needs and interests, and providing instruction that is engaging, lively, and varied. Engagement through demonstration of intensity and enthusiasm for learning, and providing opportunities for students to talk about themselves and their lives has been noted repeatedly through my observations from peers and administration. Relationships are also very, very important to me, as I feel that they're the basis for all that I'm able to accomplish with my students. Many of my students come from a background of failed learning experiences, unfortunately. They've experienced significant struggles with content acquisition, assessment, even just participating in basic general classroom activities, and also with peers. Their self-concept as it relates to their ability to be a good student and learn is low. Communication of a high expectation for these reluctant learners is my most important first step. They must believe that they can learn, and they must believe that I believe that they can learn and truly believe in them. Creating a safe space for taking chances and putting themselves out there is key. Part of this creation is the establishment of an area that's conducive to learning, both in the physical and the emotional sense. Being that establishment of a solid and consistent set of rules and procedures is foundational to all that I hope to accomplish in my classroom, I chose this as my growth goal area for the category of context. My student surveys made me aware that I do not provide much of an opportunity for student participation in the generating of rules and expectations of the classroom, so this will be an area in which I hope to grow throughout this process. Presentation of academic content in the most meaningful and memorable way possible is the main responsibility of my job. I'm a teacher in charge of direct academic instruction for students who suffer and struggle with their education due to a learning difficulty. The chunking and processing of content are key to my students' level of retention, as well as their ability to transfer or generalize the knowledge and skills that they learn during our sessions. I assessed myself as relatively competent in the area of recording and representing content, as it is also a pretty major requirement of my position. Special education is very data collection heavy. My goals in this area are to use the collected data in meaningful and intentional ways, to guide my instruction and choice of strategies based on careful reflection of progress monitoring and data collected. My self-assessment helped me to become aware of my need to expand higher level knowledge application in ways that are appropriate for my students. I do not use homework at all as a strategy for my lessons, and have been considering if and how I could implement this. Due to the nature of my role, where I can best impact my students' learning and the amount of teaching time I spend in the area of practice, I chose structured practice sessions as my goal area for the category of content. A high level of effectiveness in this area has the potential to impact my students the most, I believe. Structured active engagement will lead to competence, confidence, and fluency in the procedures of learning. Effective teaching in this area will contribute to the likelihood that they will internalize these procedures and carry the learning with them to other areas of education, hopefully. Feedback is an area which I noted a significant opportunity for professional growth due to my misunderstanding of what meaningful feedback truly was. Before looking at the specific areas of effective and meaningful feedback, I thought I was quite strong in this area. When taking a closer look and considering the specific criteria, I decided that there was much more work that I could do in enhancing my skills of giving feedback. Due to my small group sessions, I had not implemented the use of posting and naming clear learning goals or providing scales and rubrics for learning activities. I immediately implemented this practice, modifying it slightly to make it work for my unique and individualized environment. I noticed immediate change, both in the students and in myself, as far as the targeted and focused practice we were engaged in. Having the lesson and the learning goal and the scale explicitly named, discussed, and in front of us during the lesson helped us maintain our attention on topic and come back to the goal at the end, which kept our learning on track. Again, due to the nature of my position, I looked for the area that was most imperative to my effectiveness and decided on formal assessments of individual students as my growth goal area. This area is a large part of what I do and has the potential to be much more useful to my planning and practice than I feel that it currently is. I feel that I'm good at collecting large amounts of data, but need some strategies to determine the most useful assessments to use and what to do with the data collected. Taking a close look at what I'm doing as far as specific assessments and how it can best focus my instruction. My students shared on their surveys, again, that they did not feel that they were given opportunities to choose their own assessments, the methods, and that their scores were not shared with them at a level that created meaningful understanding of the scores and areas of need. My specific goal in this area will be, similarly to the last one, to involve students a little bit more in the planning and decision making of their assessments and to share with them more meaningful and immediate feedback on their scores and how we can use their score to identify potential areas to improve on.